What's up guys, Jivan back with another video. I'm sure you guys have all heard that Raider dropped his new Peace Control map version 3, and it is the best by far. So you know I gotta break it down for you guys, tell you how to Peace Control without taking damage, giving you guys the best techniques to practice in this map. So that's what we're gonna do. Before we hop into it, please consider using code JivanTV in the Fortnite item shop, and make sure you go check out Raider's video. He deserves all the love for this. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So this first drill in the map is run just how I'm showing it. When going from this side, you want to jump up while you're placing the cones and walls in front of the enemy. It's best to do it while jumping up simply because it's really awkward placing all that stuff from below. Once you get that stuff placed, you want to make a window and place the walls to the left and behind the enemy, while sprinting off to the left side behind your right hand peak. However, on the other side, you can place all this stuff from below like I'm showing here, and then you use this wall to the left of you as cover while peace controlling. That's the idea of the first course. The nice thing about this map, however, is that each of these courses has a lot of open space, so you can practice edit coursing or approaching the drills however you want. Especially in the map I'm showing right now, course number 2. This map is so open for interpretation. You can practice side jumps, you can practice triple edits into mongrels, or you can practice this edit out the side move that I'm doing right here. I recommend practicing a variety of stuff in this course, but make sure when you're peace controlling the enemy and setting up your peaks, you're always using right hand peaks and avoiding taking damage. That's the main thing. And then another really cool thing about this map is now it gives you time to practice resetting your wall after taking your shot. So you're going to want to make sure you're practicing resetting that wall after every shot. Moving on to course number 3, we got something that I actually needed myself really badly. First thing you're going to want to do is practice doing a far wall edit, and then you want to practice boxing the guy below. I find this to be the best way to practice in this course. When editing your far wall, move over to the side just like this. That way when you confirm the edit, you can use your small wall as cover and your opponent's completely exposed. And then when boxing the opponent below, you want to slide the cone in while you're dropping down. This is a good habit to get into, that way you can always ensure you get that cone in the opponent's box in a real game situation. And then use some form of a nice peek to get the walls around the opponent. You can also practice killing the first enemy like this, doing a little mongrel edit, and then dropping down on the other opponent, whatever you're feeling. On to the next course. This one gives you full reign to do whatever you want. You can edit from above, you can drop down, edit course, whichever you want to do. I'm showing a bunch of good examples on screen right now that you can try to mimic. What I recommend doing is just go through each of these courses one at a time until you can get the good peace control techniques down in that individual course. Maybe do 1 or 2 each day until you have them mastered, or if it's easy for you, you can just do them all, whichever. Next course, I like to play this like a game of chess. I pretend the enemy's real, and when I get him boxed at first, I assume he's going to try to go out the side, so I box up the side as well. In a real game, the enemy's almost always going to try to go out the side where there's an open wall, so I usually leave one wall open, pre-box out that side just for good practice. And then of course, setting up a nice right hand peek. On to the next course. So this one's pretty straightforward. You just want to drop down on the enemy, boxing up one of the sides they might go out, and then just either mongrel them or box them with cones and set up a peek shot. Now this next one is literally my favorite. The reason I like this one so much is because you can practice a lot of retakes, specifically peace control high ground retakes that I teach a lot. So you can practice doing high walls into edit courses, just like this example here. I call this the forward high wall. It's for when you're building up to an enemy, they're 2 layers above you, you do this high wall and you get so much peace control with it. This is probably my favorite one to practice in this map. It's kind of hard to do to get the timing of the jump down and the positioning, but once you get it, it's so useful. And of course, there's a lot of other ways you can practice in this as well. For example, you can just do cone edits up, just like I'm showing on screen right here. But of course, just like in any of these drills, I'm going to drill it into your brain. Make sure you're setting up nice right hand peeks and peace controlling from behind cover. One thing a lot of people struggle with is they'll try to get all of the walls when peace controlling the enemy, and usually you're not going to be able to get all those walls safely behind a right hand peek. So you got to usually just leave one wall open, and if you see them go out that side, then you can try to grab that wall. So I said last course was my favorite, but this one is up there as well. This course was made perfectly for the Noah Rayleigh ramp phase trick. The way you do this is position your crosshair like I am, crouch up and down while building a ramp. And then you're going to want to pre-box out the side in an in-game situation, because a lot of times the enemy will try to run out the side. If you're struggling to get this move down, just keep toying with the crosshair placement and then eventually you'll be able to get it first try every time. In this next drill, you can either try to get cones and floors over the enemy and then set up peaks like I'm doing here. This is a little bit awkward of an edit to do, so it's good to have that practice in. It can help your movement, piece control, and everything practicing the most awkward situations in these maps. Also, that peak I just set up is god tier, but you can also practice doing it like this, sliding a cone over the enemy and then edit coursing around, setting up a peak from one of the sides. The most important thing when practicing this way is that you drag the cone in first. You always want to prioritize the cone when the enemy's going up a ramp because that way it blocks their movement up the ramp. Next situation is another high wall drill. I like this one more than in Piece Control Map V2 because you can practice setting up peaks from the side. So my favorite way to practice is by doing this peak out the side. If you watch my fighting videos a lot, you know I talk about that peak all the time. You edit out the side wall and then edit the ramp to set yourself up a perfect peak. But you can also practice doing high walls and then set up a peak with that first wall that you place, just like that. Or you can practice editing out the side, dragging cones over the opponent from the side and doing it just like that. All of those are great techniques. Next drill is another one I've been trying to improve on, pre-boxing the enemy down below. When I run this drill, I don't go all the way up to the first enemy simply because I want to get down below as fast as possible. I like to simulate this drill like I'm trying to pre-box the enemy down below, and to do that you gotta be quick with it. So that's my go-to in that drill. Again, we use the same piece control techniques when boxing that opponent down below. First we drag the cone in, place the wall, and then use a window peak to place the other walls while we're running behind cover. This next drill is a good edit course drill. Main things to focus on are first get the cone over the ramp, and then you can either use cones or ramps to edit course to the opponent. When using cones, you want to make sure you're dragging the cones into the enemy's box first before placing walls. Cones first is almost always the wave. And then when doing it with a ramp, you want to do the mongrel edit at the end just like that. That way it saves you time and you can hug your right hand window peak while confirming the edit. That's my new go-to mongrel edit. This next course leaves you a lot of options as well. I'll show 4 ways you can run through the course here. If you need any of these slowed down, you can go to the settings of this YouTube video, go to speed, and slow it down to 0.5 speed. Just notice my peak shots in all of these. When I'm peeking from above, I crouch down and then crouch up to take the shot. When I'm on low ground, same layer as the enemy, I'm making sure to hug my right hand peaks. And of course, like I said, all throughout this video, when I do those ramp edits, I always do it through a window because that's gonna be the new meta, trust me. The next course is really good for practicing crosshair placement when editing up on the opponent like this. First way you can do it is by running underneath the enemy's ramp, but that's a little bit sketchy in a real game situation. So the typical way to do this is like this. You simply edit a window, place the cone and walls, and then take a peek shot. Main thing is crosshair placement. You need your crosshair to be in that window to be able to place the builds above and around the enemy. You gotta be really precise. And the last course, definitely not least though, this may be my favorite. I know I said that before, but this one's godly. This course leaves you so many options and I'm just gonna play a bunch out here. You can do whatever you want to the enemy here. Edit from above, peek shot from below, like whatever you wanna do. There's so many options. And that's why I like this map so much. It gives you so much freedom to approach the bot however you want to approach it. And that's the best thing about it. Recap, you gotta make sure you're setting up nice peaks, piece controlling through your right hand peaks. Practice stuff that's gonna push you out of your comfort zone. Practice resetting your peak every time you take a shot so you won't take any damage back. I warm up in this map every single day now. It's helping me out a ton and it'll definitely help you out too. Don't forget to hit that like button, sub if you're new, use code JivanTV, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.